I am speaking. Yay.
Speaking time.
So, hey everyone. Welcome to Midweek Gaming. I'm Nick. Over as always on the other end is Justin, providing editing and gameplay purposes. What he's playing, I don't know, because I'm
I am
watching around stream.
playing Terraria because, frankly, Terraria is the only magic type game that I really have that I can play at the moment that's not going to take 20 hours to download.
He says Terraria, and just the name alone makes me think of some plant simulator.
I mean, Terraria is basically think Minecraft 2D, but with like thousands of mods, basically.
Oh, great. He's using the modded version.
But it's not modded. It's the base game.
But don't worry, guys. We're not talking about Terraria today. If you're not a fan of Terraria, we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy again today. Why?
Though Hogwarts Legacy does fit with my character having what seems to be a wizard hat, so there you go.
Yeah, the wizard had it. But
He is a wizard, then he's going to Hogwarts. For what purpose?
we don't know. Reasons. Magic.
Some reason.
But yeah, no. So today we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy. Interesting topic actually came up recently a few days back. Turns out anyone who's purchased Hogwarts, well, there's actually been one small thing and one kind of big thing that came up a few days ago. Turns out people who purchased Hogwarts, well, actually, I'll get the small thing out of the way first. So Hogwarts Legacy, can't speak today.
Take your
Hogwarts
time.
Legacy Hogwarts Legacy released a new trailer today, or not today, a few days back actually, revealing the character, a voice actor for one of the professors, actually the headmaster of Hogwarts at the time, who would be played by Simon Pegg. Rather interesting actor. I like his work, so that'll be interesting to see. He fits surprisingly well, but and especially considering it's Phineas Black, I believe it is, which for those Harry Potter fans in the world apparently is a big lore character. I say apparently because I'm not much into the deep lore, shall we say. Surprising considering it's
Deep
me. I'm getting into
lore.
it. Deep lore. Insert
This,
the eye, just like the one eye with Demo Man.
the guy with
Oh.
one eye.
The guy with one eye has tunnel vision. Deep lore. For those who know what that is, congratulations. But anyways. So anyway, yeah, no, they revealed him. They also revealed a bit of. It wasn't just him talking about the character he's playing, but also some snippets of the game we haven't seen yet. Looks interesting. Still looks visually interesting. Excuse me. I just woke up actually.
Mm-hmm.
7 p.m. I slept all day. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Not happy that I did, but not ashamed to admit it either. So what does that tell you about me? That did not sound good. Clearing me mouth here. Let me just sit up more.
This is kind of the thing that you do before show.
I did not expect this would happen. So anyways, we saw some clips of the game we haven't seen before. Interesting stuff, new areas it looks like. I don't think we saw any new spells, but we did kind of get to see a bit more of, well, we've been seeing a menu a bit more in the actual showcases that they have. All three of those things are linked down in the description, Showcase 1, 2, and of course, Peg's reveal. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, no, we did see a few clips where Simon's character will be playing in the game, so it's kind of interesting to see some of those cutscenes. For example, we have what looks to be right after the Sorting Hat ceremony, most likely the beginning of the game when you're sorted into your house, where Phineas is just being a douche to the students, because apparently historically he hates students.
Obviously. Why
This is
wouldn't you?
I mean, the funny part is, I have been getting into lore, like I said recently, and apparently he is considered one of the worst headmasters ever. Well, unsurprisingly, they put a guy in charge of a school who hates children, so this is like a terrible idea.
Terrible ideas on top of terrible ideas.
Yeah, terrible ideas on top of terrible ideas. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see that. But yeah, no, we do, like I said, see that one clip that looks like to be right after the Sorting Hat ceremony or after some great gathering where he just tells the students to go off, do your homework. That's what you should be doing right now. But anyways,
You should be working.
I should be working, damn it. But yeah, no. So we see a few cutscenes, and that's interesting. Like I said, a few more details in the game. So that's interesting. Bit of interesting news there. And again, the game is coming closer up to release, which it will be next month in February, either on the 7th, if you have the deluxe edition, or on the 10th if you have the base version, because they're going to pull a Ubisoft, and if you buy a higher end tier, you get the game early, which, yes, I have. I want the game. I'm not a sucker to admit I will go for that kind of thing. But, among other stuff that they give with the deluxe edition. But here's the shtick. The 10th or 7th release date is only for the new generation games, new generation version of the game. And this kind of brings us very nicely into the next topic of the video, which is a bit bigger. Depending on how big, you be the judge, but a bigger part. So recently, word started breaking around the community that people have their Hogwarts Legacy pre-orders just simultaneously revoked, like they've been deleted.
I'm about to head out.
Yeah, no. Like if you had a Hogwarts Legacy pre-order, they've now just suddenly they're gone.
Yep.
They're being canceled. And again, there's an article down below from Game Rant that explains it a lot more detail. But basically, what happened was this: people started going on their Hogwarts Legacy pre-orders, or either rechecking or doing stuff, and yada yada yada. And they realize they're starting to get confirmations that their Legacy pre-orders have been canceled. Because the weird part about this is that they didn't cancel them; they just canceled themselves. After a bit of digging, it was revealed that the previous generation versions of the games were the ones being canceled. Because here's how it works: Hogwarts Legacy is coming out on basically every platform aside from PC. Sorry, PC players, you're not in on the party.
Oh.
Good news to Switch players, though, you are, but that's a whole different ball of wax. So it goes like this: PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series. Yeah, I think that's the naming convention Xbox used.
Yep.
And Switch. Now, originally, if you don't know how the release cycle for this game worked, it basically went like this. Originally, the game was supposed to release, or was planning to release, Christmas or holidays, of last year. But during one of their showcases, they revealed that that plan had been scrapped, and they had actually planned a actual official release date for February of this year. February 10th to be exact. And like I said, they revealed that if you buy the deluxe edition of the games, you'll get it 7 days early. Not 7 days. That would be nice, but maybe not. 3 days early before that release date on the 7th if you bought the deluxe, which again I did. Here's the thing, though. That was going well until about last showcase, or sometime after that, before that, where basically it was revealed that the last generation version of the game wasn't, for some reason, able to be released on the same date. Most likely because graphical limitations of old hardware, they had to find ways to maybe downsize a bit more or rewrite the code so it would work a bit. So they decided to delay the last gen versions of the game beyond the February 10th release date. Don't worry though, all the current gens are still coming out on the 10th or 7th, again depending, release date. But the previous gen have been delayed. I do not remember to when. Let me see here. Game rank. No. Game rank will say. Does not appear to be. Okay. Oh, my bad. It is going to be available on PC. I misquoted. It will be available on PC as well. My mistake.
It made a grave lapse in judgment.
I only offended like 3 people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it'll be available on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X on that date, February 10th or, again, 7th, depending. But if you're on PS4 or Xbox One, that's the one, you'll have to wait until April 4th, which is when they delayed the previous gens till. Again, they don't give a reason, but it's most likely because, like I said, due to graphical limitations of old hardware, they're going to have to find some way to work around the old system, so they need more time to cook it. I suppose it's better they did this than pull a Cyberpunk where they release everything together even though the last gens are nowhere near the current gens, and well, we all know how that ended.
Yep.
So,
Insert insert cyberpunk music.
yeah, it's sort of cyberpunk music. Don't get me wrong, the current gen, which I did play it on originally, was a good game. And I only ran into maybe like one or two glitches. It was a very good game. I still enjoyed it. I still play it. But I digress. It's a good example in this case scenario. As for Nintendo Switch, this won't be affected in the slightest because that was already scheduled way until like January 25th. So the Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy won't be available until the 25th anyway. So that one's remaining unchanged. But yeah, what about all this pre-order cancellation nonsense? That's all well and good, but what about the pre-order cancellation? Well, as it turns out, that might have been the reason for the delays, it turns out. Someone reached out to actually WB Games, who are the guys publishing the game, and they asked, WTF, like, what's going on? Why are our pre-order getting canceled all of a sudden?
What has happened?
And again, they clarified. They reached back to Callum Welsh, who reached out to them specifically about his Xbox One being canceled, and they clarified. The cancellation, in their words, is due to the release date of the Xbox One version, because again, that's the one he asked about specifically, which is included in the Digital Deluxe Edition for Xbox Series X. Or is due to the delay, my mistake. Cancellation is due to the delay of the release date of the Xbox One version. He said that he should have received an email about it. But yeah, apparently, long story short, is what happened was this. Because of the delay, those who purchased the games on the last gen version of the consoles had their pre-orders automatically revoked and automatically canceled. And they would receive an email about it saying that because of the delay, your pre-order has been canceled. Maybe because of the extent of how long the game has been delayed, it's just something that's automatic in their systems, or I don't know. Maybe being altruistic, they thought maybe people wouldn't want to play the game after such a long delay. Maybe that would scare people off, like I said, especially after the Cyberpunk problem. So by the sounds of it, people's had their pre-orders for last gen automatically revoked. As for current gen, they haven't been delayed. They're still planning to release on February 7th. That is going to plan. So don't worry. If you've got a current gen version of the game, either in base, deluxe, or if you were one of those people, the collector's edition, don't worry, it's still coming. So yeah, that's the state of affairs right now. Apparently, the version has been delayed, and that's been causing some issues with pre-orders because they've been revoked.
Well, better to know now than not.
Yeah, better to know now than not. The article itself goes on to state that the reason most people pre-order the deluxe edition is because of the added goodies that come with it, as well as, most likely in most people's case, the 72-hour early access that comes with it as well, as well as the bunch of other stuff. Which, as the article itself also points out, is probably the real draw.
Probably.
The other bonuses are just nice.
Yeah, they're just minor bonuses that are like, yeah, this is cool and all, but
you get the 3 days early.
This right here, this is what I want.
Which, again, for those 72 hours translates into about 3 days early, so there you go.
Yep. It adds up.
Usually I'd be concerned about early releases, because technically that might not include a day one patch, because technically the base version of the game is coming out on the 10th, so you might have to wait 3 days before that day one patch actually comes in. But this game, like I said, was originally planned to release in December, and the running theory why it didn't release back in December originally was because to avoid the release date of games coming out in December, of which I cannot remember at the moment. But they just did it so they could get a window mostly to themselves. Which kind of backfired on them, I think, because then everything else delayed their games till February, so kind of shot them in the foot.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Didn't help, but
Or
can't
who
really
knows?
go back on it now.
Or who knows? It might legitimately have been to improve the game, though I highly doubt it. As many people would say, 3 months, if not less. Well, let me see here. January. No, it's only 2 months. Not even that. Month and a half. Month at best, because it's like on the 7th or the 10th, which is the first week. First or second week. That's not enough to change really anything. So,
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, that's the state of Hogwarts Legacy. So if you had your pre-order revoked and you didn't receive the email, don't worry. It's just because you bought the last gen version of the game and that's been delayed. So you're gonna have to auto renew it or auto pre-order it. Pre-order it again.
I mean, at the very least, your money's been refunded, so that's better than no money at all.
Yeah, they didn't just say we're taking your money and
It's
split.
like your
But nowhere.
money is mine.
But yeah, no, they've been canceled, so hopefully you should get your money back.
Yeah. And if you don't, then go contact them right away.
Hopefully your money's been refunded. I believe it is, but if not, yeah, go contact people. Go contact whoever you pre-ordered it with. Be it EB Games, GameStop, or if you're one of those new people nowadays, Walmart. I don't know. Maybe you pre-ordered it at Walmart. I don't know.
Hold on a minute. Did you just say one of those new people or old people?
I don't know, honestly. Would you consider pre-ordering at Walmart a new thing or an old thing? I wanted to say something happy, like pre-ordering it on Amazon or something like that.
I would say probably old, but
yeah, if you're one of those new people who pre-ordered on Amazon or one of those old people who pre-ordered at Walmart.
yeah. Like pre-ordering at Walmart honestly feels like you do an old thing. Like,
Truth be told,
yes, I went and got this plastic case at Walmart. I pre-ordered it 8 months ago.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know you could pre-order at Walmart. Like I always wondered if you could. And recently I saw that you could pre-order like the new
I think it was
Pokemon there.
Yeah, I think
No,
it's
no,
been
not
a thing
Pokemon,
for a
but,
while, but it became more of a thing after specific fun events.
Yeah, well, we can't say those because we'll get demonetized. Yes, we're not monetized already, but let's not take our chances.
I want to be monetized.
I want to be monetized. Get those extra 6 cents.
Give it to me now.
But yeah, so that's the state of Hogwarts Legacy. If you had your pre-orders canceled, don't worry. It's most likely due to the fact you just pre-ordered on the last gen. You just gotta go renew it and get your order again. And it'll be coming out this time in April. Sorry, guys.
Apologies.
Apologies.
Except we're not the ones who did it, so not really apology.
Yeah. Well, no, I feel bad for you. That's why I apologize. I apologize because I feel bad.
I feel sympathy for you, but otherwise I am not the one who did this to you, so do not direct your anger at me.
Go direct it at, WB.
Anyone else, please?
Anyone else, please. But yeah, anyway, that's the news this week. Yeah,
well, there's been some gameplay stuff that's come out, but not too much, right?
Oh yeah, no. The gameplay stuff that has only really come out since the time of our last Hogwarts video, I believe, is like I said, the Simon Pegg reveal. Like I said, for him revealing he's playing Phineas Black. There is some gameplay, like I said, mixed in with his talking. Like I said, reveals a few, I think, new areas and a bit of some cutscenes in which Phineas is involved in. He is the headmaster, so I'm guessing he's going to play a pretty, well, at least a major, not a major role, but at least a pretty big role. Because I believe, if memory serves, like, if you go down the dark arts path, one guy's like, I'm bringing you to the headmaster, so now we know who the headmaster is, which, I don't know, considering how much he hates children, if he'd be even more pissed or if he wouldn't give to.
Yeah, that would be interesting, because technically you could go both routes.
Because that's the thing, like, if he was, like, it really depends on where he stands in the dark arts, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he hates them so much, I don't know if he'd care more or less.
Yeah, it's like, go down the dark arts, that way I can be rid of you once and for all.
Can't be rid of you, go to Azkaban. Send you to prison. Actually, no. A guy like that might be the most. A guy like that might actually be the kind of guy to immediately throw you to the police if he ever knew about that because he doesn't like you. So maybe that's how we get that Azkaban section. Because if memory serves, in like the original trailer, there was a scene in what looked to be prison with Dementors, and Dementors are only really found in Azkaban, supposed to be. So Do we get to go to prison? Is this what this means? We can go to
Am
prison.
I in prison?
Yeah,
Is
Hogwarts
this what
Legacy, chapter
jail is like?
Hogwarts Legacy, chapter 3, the prison chapter.
It's
We went
that
from
time.
like medieval fantasy to we went from like turn of the century fantasy to like Shawshank Redemption real fast. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, there you
But yeah,
go.
that's it's trying to get it shorter, so this will be a nice way to keep the video shorter. So yeah, see you all next Monday. Hopefully we'll have some other news to talk about that then. Will depend on how the news cycle works. But yeah, that's it, guys, and have a good
And
night.
and before we leave, I will leave you all with a quick boss fight on Taria here.
Let's hope he's winning.
Yes, I'm gonna use a magic laser cannon. And and
Magic
and and,
laser.
and yes, I know what it sounds like. Well, you would think it's just electricity. Well, explain why this cannon uses my mana.
Mana could just be a form of bioelectricity.
Oh. But isn't that in
Sorry about it.
turn magic?
Not really. Bioelectricity exists in the real world in deep sea
Yes,
fish.
but isn't magic really just quote unquote unexplained science?
Don't you dare get philosophical on me. You're spoiling the fun. We're gonna start going like caveman now, and they'll be like, fire,
Ooh,
magic.
fire! No know how work. Must be magic.
Can you? Is that why like some cultures had like so many gods when it came to like everything, where they're just like, oh, the fire is burning. Oh, the forest is burning. The gods are angry.
Yes.
They're just like fire is magic, so when the world burns down, or when a forest burns down, they're just like the gods are angry. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. That's probably legit how that worked. Anyways, we'll leave
Yes.
you with that fun thought.
We'll leave you with the thoughts that brings up for you.
Yeah, that we should apologize for. We're sorry against humanity. For
I'm
everything
sorry
humanity.
for going and making you think this way.
But anyways, have a good night, guys.
Yes.
See you next Monday.